Happy Monday, everyone. It's time for my daddy's podcast.
Welcome to the Lessons for Success podcast. I'm your host, Adam Wardlaw, middle school science teacher and high school football coach in South Carolina, USA. Thank you for tuning into the podcast heard by nearly 3,000 people across 17 countries, as well as almost every state here in America. These episodes are intended to be short and beneficial lessons to help you get more out of your life. You can keep up with the show on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and even TikTok by searching at L4S Show. And remember, that's the number 4. If you're listening on an iPhone, go ahead and give the show a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts to help keep our growing community going. Now let's start the show. Irish Gymnast Keiran Behan is known by some as the Miracle Boy, not because of any particular moves in his arsenal, but because his story of perseverance was considered impossible by many. Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new episode of Monday Motivation here on the Lessons for Success show. I took a break from the daily shows in order to give you guys a chance to check out Volume 2 of the long format episodes. Be sure to check out some of these episodes to hear from a variety of guests and their insight into what it takes to reach success. Back to today's story about Keiran Behan. You see, the Miracle Boy was told by doctors at age 10 that he would never walk again. They had just removed a cancerous tumor from his brain, and the outlook was not in his favor. The operation went badly. So badly, in fact, that he woke up screaming in pain from massive nerve damage. Imagine being 10 years old and receiving this kind of news. How would that change your perception on life? Growing up, he had been crazy about gymnastics and was determined to become an Olympic champion. But how could he do that when he could not even walk now and was confined to a wheelchair? Keiran used these doubts as fuel. He was going to prove the doctors wrong, and he started on the long road to recovery. After 15 months in a wheelchair, Keiran was soon back in the gym. There, obstacles popped back up, though. Within a few months, he slipped from a bar and he injured his head. This damage had lingering effects. Blackouts sometimes occurred when he simply blinked. This injury caused him to miss a year of school. But Keiran couldn't escape the call of the gym. Coming back from this injury was not cut and dry. Keiran had to retrain his brain and get back his coordination. When he returned to school, he had to use a walking stick, and he was bullied by his peers. 3 years passed before he recovered to the point where he regained everything he had lost. Sadly, he would suffer other injuries, including fractures and a devastating knee injury. After being selected for the European Championships, his knee snapped. At this point, he contemplated just giving up, but thankfully he didn't. Keiran would go on to challenge the World Cup champion in 2011. And in 2012, his lifelong dream of becoming an Olympian was fulfilled when he qualified for the London Olympics. After a lifetime of trauma from injuries, Keiran had reached his goal. At that moment, I'm sure all the trials and tribulations seemed worth it. Keiran Behan's story is a true illustration of the Olympic spirit, an example of the resilience it takes to reach your goals. Your days aren't going to go smooth. We're all in different situations with different odds stacked against us. In Lesson 6 of Volume 2, I spoke with Tim Kite, and he explained the importance of responding to life's events rather than trying to control the events themselves. Keiran couldn't control the injuries and setbacks he would face, but he was fully in control of how he responded to them. Rather than letting them ruin his dreams, he responded in ways that propelled him towards his goals. I'm not sure what you may be going through, but understand that how you react going forward is what will determine your chances at achieving your dreams. That's all the time I have for today's episode. What did you think about Keiran's story? Let me know in the comments below or by reaching out to the show on social media. I'll talk to you guys next time on the Lessons for Success podcast.
Time for a quick commercial.
That's right, Ellie. This episode is brought to you by Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. And they'll even distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. To get started, download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm today. Well, folks, that's it for another edition of the Lessons for Success podcast. Thank you for listening. Remember that you can keep up with the show wherever podcasts are found, as well as the newly updated Lessons for Success YouTube channel. Be sure to follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok to keep up with more content from the show. If you haven't already done so, give the show a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. That's all the time I have for today. Be sure to tune in for the next episode of the Lessons for Success show.